How's it going, guys? I'm back and I'm going to do a coin review today on a particular coin that I'm actually in love with. And I can't exactly explain why, or maybe I should say I can't explain well why. I, to this very day, I've watched videos, I've read articles, and I still can't fully explain the coin and what it does. So I'm just going to explain what I think I know and then let you guys do a little bit more research on it. But with that being said, and you might be like, well, why the heck are you doing this video right now if you fully don't understand it? Some things are just technically over my head. But when I have a gut feel about a particular coin, I would rather you guys know about it now rather than, a couple months from now when I find the time to do a little bit more research. And on top of that, if you look down here, it's absolutely tanked because the market as a whole has absolutely tanked. But it's back down to prices that it was even, let's see, 270, even back in August. So if you like the coin after the video and you believe in the technology and the concept of the coin, now would be a pretty stinking good time to buy in. Again, I don't have a crystal ball. I'm not a financial advisor. Tomorrow it could tank, even more, go down to nothing, or it could shoot up. Who knows? Who knows? Anyways, real quick, so the name of the coin is called ARK. $2.72 currently, and today is February the 5th. Market cap is 266 million. Circulating supply, and they have inflation tied in there, is roughly, total supply is roughly 131 million. Let's go ahead and dive in to their website. What I did in a couple other videos when I did a breakdown, if you've seen my other ones early on when I did the PowerPoints, I did breakdowns between the team, the traffic, social metrics, and how the website flowed and looked. I don't do that currently right now. It just takes too long to type it all out when I could just kind of show it to you and just move along. So I've switched up my style. But I love their website personally, just from a visual standpoint. I think it's just kind of a cool looking, artistically, it's simple, it's clean, it's cool. Again, that's just kind of opinion on things. Let's go ahead and go back to the top. I'll show you the traffic that they're receiving, which always makes me happy to see that they're very consistent. Again, this is just an estimated amount, but you're looking at almost 500,000, dipped a little bit, went all the way up to 1 million. Now it's about almost 700,000. So it's getting really good engagement traffic-wise for their website. So I'm going to do a quick read this what they say. So about ARK, because again, I still have trouble explaining it. And let me put it this way. I believe in a nutshell, people have called it the sandbox of cryptocurrency. So A, it's considered a sandbox, and B, I think it's a bridge between different blockchains and different currencies. So when you look at it from that standpoint, if it truly is going to be this bridge between multiple currencies and blockchains, then the survival of this particular idea and technology piggybacks off of other coins surviving too, which I view it almost like a payment processing system. If you have a payment processing company out there, you win when more businesses are flowing and doing transactions, and that almost never goes away. So if you believe in the blockchain technology and you believe in these coins that are going to grow over time, transactions are going to become more, and there's more interaction that are going to be, that should happen between these coins and blockchains, then ARK fits right up that alley. And to me, that's a safe bet, or safer bet than some out there. So real quick about ARK. ARK provides users, developers, and startups with innovative blockchain technologies. We aim to create an entire ecosystem of linked chains and a virtual spiderweb of endless use cases that make ARK highly flexible, adaptable, and scalable. ARK is a secure platform designed for mass adoption and will deliver the services that consumers want and developers need. I'll go into these points pretty quickly because I got a couple other things I want to cover. So they talk about 8-second block times, which isn't the end of, it's fast. To me, if you're doing it within less than a minute anyways, who cares? I like Ray blocks, for example. It's almost like instantaneous, but I can wait 8 seconds. That's not the end of the world to me. They even mention, I've read a couple different places that they're actually an ARK 2.0, whenever that's going to be released, they're working on transaction times being even faster than 8 seconds. So decentralized, it's a delegated proof of stake. I am more and more liking the proof of stake concept coins. Part of the reason why is Ethereum and Vitalik are trying to move Ethereum in that direction anyways, from proof of work. And I just think as time goes on, that might just become more of the norm rather than proof of work. Again, I don't have a crystal ball on that, but it kind of makes sense to me. So, given the fact that they're the proof of stake concept and you can have nodes, I like that. Just kind of a personal opinion. Scalable, they talked about, and basically being able to have functions, hundreds of side chains is what they call it here. Oop, I'm trying to highlight this. Nope, I can't highlight it, so I'll read it straight through. Through the use of our custom-built Smart Bridge functionality, we are able to offload non-essential functions of hundreds of side chains. This allows great scalability while keeping the main Arc blockchain lean and fast. So my assumption is that they're going to kind of separate and split things up to keep things able to be scalable. Give me 1 second here. I want to double check. Okay. So they talked about in here, this is actually old, I think. They talked about 17 core team members in 11 different countries. They also have what they call their not collaborators, feature members or legacy members, I think, in there. And then at other places, I see this number, it's gone up to like 30, I believe. So they have a decent size, team and group of people. They're it's either I think it's the head developer actually came from Lisk, I want to say in August 2016. So if you like Lisk, then this is definitely a coin to look into because it's they want to try to work together. Lisk is actually one of their first ones that they want to kind of like bridge that and work together with. The bridging they talk about here. So they have this little drawing, the Arc blockchain, recipient, any blockchain or service that they would work with, and then encoded listener, which I've read articles trying to figure all this stuff out, and I'm not even going to try to explain something because I don't want to mislead you. Last thing is they are open source. I like that too, but a lot of them are open source anyway, so that's not something crazy. They have a desktop wallet currently with a Sports Ledger Nano. You got the basic, the Linux, Apple, Windows, and then they have a mobile wallet also. I think this mobile wallet is actually fairly new if I remember correctly. They're on quite a few exchanges. Binance, I like that. Bittrex, I like that. Upbit, obviously, is big, and OKX. So yeah, they are on quite a few different exchanges. Got some articles written about them. Nice to see. Lots of different social. Let's go over here real quick, and I'll knock these out. So Twitter, they have 57,000 followers, which is pretty decent. Not bad. Not too low. Not extremely high, but it's it's okay. It's moving. I really like the fact their Reddit page, they have 20,000 subscribers right now, that's nice. I really like to see that. I think Reddit's a big hub for cryptocurrency. So is Twitter. Twitter and Reddit are, in my opinion, the two major things. Everything else is kind of blah. If you look over here at I went to a metrics page, you can see total subscribers. So you can see that the growth has been nice and steady pretty much almost every single month. And on top of that, if you look down here, they just broke a milestone 5 days ago of 20,000. In September, they were the top 10,000 subreddits out there, and now in December, they've broke to the top 5,000 subreddits. So they are growing quite quickly, and as of yesterday, their fastest growth, I guess. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, so. The bottom line is I like to see that their social is growing quickly. I'm always a big fan of that. Their website showed there was steady traffic throughout, plus there was a blip in their growth. So it always makes me happy to see things like that when it comes to different coins, and especially in a coin that I consider is still, I guess, under the radar isn't the right way to put this particular coin, but I just don't feel like it gets talked about as much as a lot of the other coins. Let's go over to the roadmap real quick. I skipped the team, but that's okay. We'll go back. So the roadmap is really cool. I've never really seen a roadmap like this. Usually they have like the little bullet points, and it's just a very generic, like, hey, we're gonna hit this, in quarter one, and this in quarter two, and and again, I get it. Some teams like to underpromise and overperform. Some teams, do the opposite. It is what it is. This particular team has a really cool concept. I like it because they basically break everything down in percentages, and then you can come down here and click on details and then actually see which tasks. I mean, they actually go through specifically like which tasks are, 100% completed, 82%, 82%, 80%. So they break every single thing down for you, and you can see exactly where they stand or where they don't stand. Smart Bridge partnerships, this is going to be a big deal. They're not very far on this. but they do have other things that they have finished. Let's go down here. If I remember correctly, they haven't finished a lot of major core things that I personally would like to see, but they have a huge, like, they're very, very ambitious. And I watched a video months ago that basically said it's almost like too ambitious, but if they can start to pull some of these, roadmap points off, then it's gonna be crazy. So they finished formation of business entity. I mean, that's basic. First iteration of the smart bridge use case, encoded listener, and again, I still have trouble understanding all this stuff. But so they show in here, it's not a lot. They finished the mobile wallet. Let's see if they have dates. I think that's recent. I just think it's really cool how they just keep you very, very updated, and that's a big deal to me. The getting out there in front of people, keeping them informed of what's going on. I know, let's say Verge, for example. Everybody, I thought it was a little bit over much, but everybody was ragging on them about like Wraith protocol and did they communicate well, did they not, etc. I feel like this team does a really good job of at least trying to like let everybody know where they stand on their milestones. We'll go back to the actual team. They've completely changed their website. They used to have their information of the team right in here, and I prefer that. I don't like. Again, I've said on many other videos, I don't like to have to click and go around, but you do have right in here where you can click on their little LinkedIn profiles if you want to go through and find more information about these people. And again, it's a little bit annoying because I really do feel like it would just be easier on everyone if you could just click and just see. And they had it at one point. I saw it. I don't know why they took it away. Maybe it was just from a visual standpoint because they even hid their legacy members down in here. As far as I know, and I haven't looked at each one of these team members, so don't technically quote me or bash me on this. I don't know how many of these guys are linked to past endeavors that were real-world business-style things. And again, that's a big thing for me. But I do know which guy was it? Now I'm gonna lie to you. I don't remember. One of these guys, I think it's this guy here, used to be linked to Lisk, and so that's where that ties in. Let me hop on over to, let's go, where do I want to go next? Oh, real quick, so if anybody knows about GitHub, which I'm still learning about GitHub, what's called a commit is like a save when they're updating things, and this website here called Crypto Miso, I don't even know how to pronounce it technically, but it talks about the commits that were occurring. You have the top 10 coins out there that were, in the last, let's say 370. Okay, so in the last couple of months have had the most amount of commits. If I look up ARC in here, they are ranked number 47, but you can see they've been very consistent in comparison to some other coins out there. They're the top 47, I guess. And even recently, they've been very consistent as far as like adding and working in the GitHub area. So that, again, makes me happy to see that they're actually doing something rather than, I don't know, Funny Coin went on here, Troll Coin, Gen Coin, Bit Tokens, whatever, where you just don't see a lot of movement in the, the GitHub and the development of the coin. That always worries me because I'm like, what are you guys doing? Like, let's get something moving. So that's nice to see. Close this up here. So I'll read. I even read this article that was trying to break down like what is a smart bridge and how does it work. And I'm like, okay, this is the article. This is going to answer it. Smart bridge I think is a good way to put it. I feel like ARC is bridging the blockchain, which means they're like the middleman, the merchant service concept. The credit card swiping guy, like he doesn't care what business you're in, but he gets business because you're swiping that card. That's kind of how I view it. They have this picture here of the smart bridges. I still can't technically go through the details of this. There are other YouTubers out there that'll do a better job. Again, my videos are about stepping stone videos. I want to put a coin in front of you that I either like for XYZ reasons, still can't explain it well, or I put a coin out there that I'm kind of iffy on. I'm like, I like the concept, but I don't know how this is going to work. And I'll give my honest opinion. I'm not going to sugarcoat it just because, but. And here he tries to give examples. Let's see if I can find a good one. I thought it was in here. Like, So, I mean, example number 3, I want to send 10 ARC to my ETH wallet. This would require an encoder listener with a backend ability to exchange currencies, and it goes into all these different details. And I watched a video that basically a guy talked about how I think you could have ARC, but then send it over to your ETH wallet and have it like switch things around. And so it's like it's a multi-purpose concept, if I understood it correctly. And again, I read this whole entire article and I still was kind of confused by it. I watch videos. I'll go into their white paper to show you. Sorry, my cat's running around with the bell on. I apologize for that. So their white paper, they talked about different use cases, which I'll explain in a second, or go there. Let's drop down to the overview. Did I just skip it? There we go. Okay. No, there was a part in here I should have highlighted before I got in here. So basically, it's not just a cryptocurrency like they say. It's supposed to be an ecosystem. They're trying to do mass adoption. I almost, now that I think about it, it's almost like a Dragon Chain style concept where I think they're trying to build like this little platform where people can come in and use it. And maybe that's a bad example. That's probably not the best way to put it. But Dragon Chain is trying to create their own little ecosystem. They talk about their community, which is a diverse group of people. And I think, I think they're talking about their people that are trying to work on it. It's open source. They're trying to bring a bunch of people in to grow that community. Let me skip the underlying token. They also talk about it's similar to Lisk and Crypty, and I think that's both because my understanding, like I said before, there's a guy from Lisk that came over, and I believe also one of the other developers was from Crypty, and I don't really know what Crypty is. I never technically figured that one out, but those are two things that they're kind of heavily tied into. They keep talking about this smart bridge, so to increase the reach of the ARC platform, ARC bridges together useful and proprietary blockchains through the use of ARC smart bridges. These smart bridges allow for communication among validated bridge blockchains with the ability to perform tasks and advanced functions. Then they go into different things, security, privacy. But this picture right here. So apparently some of the ideas of what they're trying to do with the card network, which oddly enough is kind of like the payment system thing, which I didn't realize that was even in there when I was talking. Game tokens, so they can tie it. They give a lot of use case examples to like game token stuff, which is kind of interesting. The IPFS integration, so I don't know how that's going to fully tie into it, because again, this is one of those things where there's so many different avenues that they're trying to take and tie into things that it's almost too much, which I guess is maybe a downside, sort of, because I've always, if you listen to a lot of wealthy people, they say stop trying to do a million things, just focus on a few things and do it right. But at the same time too, I think if ARC keeps moving forward slowly but surely, I think they can start to, if they pick some of these and knock it off, I think that'd be great. Anonymity is always kind of it's especially right now, it's a hot topic, so they're apparently going to try to tie that in. And then the bridge gapping, they're going to focus first and foremost on Bitcoin, Lisk, and Ethereum. Lisk made sense because the guy came from there, and then Bitcoin and Ethereum, I think that's just because, well, A, it's Bitcoin, and B, Ethereum is definitely a big deal right now too. So I think what they try to do, they talked about focusing on revenue sources, and they're trying to focus on those blockchains and coins that they, I think, believe will be truly the center of blockchain technology as time moves on. And so those are the three that they picked currently at the moment. They have more, I think, down the road is what they're going to do. Let's see. Fees, they set the fee at 0.1 ARC, but apparently they're going to adjust that in ARC 2.0, I believe. I think it even says it in here. Scalability, so they're trying to do faster transactions per second, higher scalability. This is core version 2.0, dynamic fees. So yeah, so they're supposed to adjust some of those fees in the version 2 ARC, and that's 50% done according to this roadmap. They don't give deadlines, but I think that's kind of good. I think people get so stuck up on deadlines that it's like a no-win situation. If they can't hit it, it's like instantly people they can't do anything right. I guess if they do hit it, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's this feverish rush to hit it perfect every time. And guys, huge companies miss earning reports. it's a part of life. They just don't, nothing technically flows perfectly every single time. So I like the fact that there's not actually a deadline, but a percentage, and it just shows you that it's slowly moving towards the end goal, if you will. Let's see, what else do we got on here? They do have a forum that people can come to. So there's a governance apparently side to things similar to, I would assume it's similar to like a Dash, and I think Decred has one similar to that. You can come in here and you can do different discussions. You can do votes. So it's one of those coins that I think as time goes on, the value of it will really start to show. I know I haven't probably done a really good job of explaining anything about it other than it's a sandbox, it bridges between blockchains, and what does that technically mean? I can't do a good job of describing it, but it's like this gut feeling that I've had ever since I watched the first video about ARK. I saw all the team members, so many team members that were in part of ARK. I saw the roadmap and how they were like, what they were trying to accomplish between all these different things that they were trying to bridge together. And I'm thinking, I've never seen a platform that had a vision like this, and I've never seen any platform in the real world also that typically the middle guy always wins. That's kind of how I view life. That's how I view businesses in general, myself too. Like I never want to be this guy on the right or this guy on the left. I would rather just be the middle guy that kind of connects everything together. And I know that's simplifying it. That's not really like fair to say. And I guarantee you, if somebody, a developer of ARK watched the video, he might like yell at me and be like, no, that's not. But I do believe there's part of that actually is real, where it's this middleman concept of connecting things together. And by doing that, I think there's a lot of value, because then ARK it's always there. It doesn't get left behind. And I think they're always trying to ever evolve with this particular coin on, if some new technology comes in, they're going to try to make an easy plug and play to capture that new technology in the new coin. So it's something that I feel like could, in theory, never goes away. And that makes me excited, because I feel like it just as more technology comes in and the bigger blockchain becomes, the bigger in theory ARK becomes as it gets tied in. So again, not the greatest review, but in my gut, if I had to pick something just off of pure gut and like what I think I understand, I'm really, really liking ARK. I bought a lot of it back, I don't know, I think in August, maybe somewhere in there, September-ish, when it was almost the exact same price that it is currently right now at the 270, 250-ish. And I'm excited that it's at this price now, because I would like to buy more. Again, not a financial advisor, don't have a crystal ball. It could tank to 50 cents tomorrow and I'd probably buy more. So be that as it may, that's my overview on ARK. Not really super well put together. I apologize for that. Usually it's a little bit more straightforward, but it's the best I could do, and I want to tell you guys about it now because I think the price is good right now. Personally, just spitting. So again, this video is probably going to get a lot of thumbs down, and I get it because nobody wants to watch a video that isn't super detailed, but I need to put a video out tonight. I like ARK. I wanted to know more about it, and I was still confused. But this is my ARK video. This is my ARK overview. I like it. Tell me what you guys think. Hopefully, you'll come back to my next video tomorrow. Thanks.